Look, he probably wants to set up a house in America. They put him in jail before. People are making excuses, but it's like that's not escaping the matrix and resisting this.
It's like they should have learned that kissing ass to these fucking people isn't gonna save them. Fucking gay, bro. Super gay.
And all of our tax dollars continue to go to Israel.
We need to stop fucking, funding Israel. We need to stop paying for a genocide. We need to stop sending our tax dollars to foreign countries. We need to stop starting fucking wars. We need to stop, militarizing going after our citizens with military. We need to focus on giving people their rights and not encroaching on them on a fucking daily basis. This is really fucking rant he went on PBD. I texted him and tried to tell him, but I think he might have fucking switched his number.
What happens when the self-proclaimed top G finally folds under pressure? In this video, we are witnessing a brutal reality check. Sneako and Dan Bilzerian are about to peel back the layers of Andrew Tate's recent behavior, and honestly, it's not looking good. We are talking about betrayal, fear of jail, and abandoning very principle he sold to millions of young men. Are the Tate brothers actually escaping the matrix, or have they surrendered to it just to save their own skin? You need to watch this video till the end because the truth is ugly and the receipts are undeniable.
Yeah, remember last time they fucking talked about how big fans they were of Trump and pro-America and this, that, and the other, got thrown their ass out of fucking Miami, and almost got arrested. It's like they should have learned that kissing ass to these fucking people isn't going to save them.
A lot. I mean, he was saying like, oh, I didn't play the song. Sneako played the song. It's like, bro, it's a song. Like who, you're not this is not a crime.
Dude, he literally posted a video of him playing that song, getting into his fucking Bugatti. Like, what are we talking about?
And I like the fact that you've been consistent about anti-war as well. That was a big one. I think you're one of the only few people. I disagreed with Nick on that. We're still, obviously we could have a disagreement, but like with you've stayed consistent on being anti-war.
I mean, obviously you know that your government is fucking lying to you. You know that your government doesn't have your best interest in mind. So obviously, like, weaponizing and militarizing a government that is not operating in your best interest is not a good thing, and killing U.S. citizens is not a good thing.
Let's pause right here because this is the exact moment the top G facade completely cracks. Did you catch that? Andrew Tate built a multi-million-dollar empire preaching absolute loyalty, the code of the war, and brotherhood above all else. But watch closely, when the heat turns up, loyalty is the first thing to go. Sneako isn't just complaining here, he is revealing a dark truth. Tate is allegedly blaming him for playing a song just to appease the authorities and keeps his own record clean. Dan Bilzerian nails the analysis perfectly. Fear of returning to jail, fear of losing the Bugattis, and fear of the very establishment he claimed to have defeated. Dan calls it weak, and he is absolutely right. The man who told you to escape the matrix is now snitching on his friends just to stay comfortable inside the matrix.
Well, the thing is, if you look at what the right and left civilians and citizens agree on, and it's that we shouldn't be supporting Israel, we don't want any fucking foreign wars, and then you look at what the politicians on the right and the left agree on, is that they want to fund more fucking foreign wars, they want to support Israel. So the only things that they can agree on are the things that we agree on. The only difference is they're agreeing in the opposite direction, right? Which shows the misalignment of the government with the citizens. And that is the crux of the problem, is the government is not operating in the best interest of the citizens. Mm-hmm. The government officials are operating in the best interest of themselves and their fucking donors. Once the person gets in office, if they do what they fucking say, because the unsettling trend is that everybody, says all this great shit and then they just do the opposite when they get in office. I mean, we've seen that from Trump time and time again. No new wars. The guy bombed 7 fucking countries in 1 year, so it's just like everything he said was all bullshit.
And then he gets the Nobel Peace Prize right after. The biggest issue is transgenderism, right? Like, what has Trump actually done since he's been in office to stop transgenderism? They still exist. They're still going into the bathrooms. There hasn't been like major policy change, if I know of any. And that's what people are like, oh, Trump said there's 2 genders, so I'm going to go vote for the right. And then the people on the left are like, oh, wait, it's okay to wear dress. That's really the only the major dividing issue. And all of our tax dollars continue to go to Israel.
I would actually say a lot of those align with what the right's most important issues are. We need to stop fucking, funding Israel. We need to stop paying for a genocide. We need to stop sending our tax dollars to foreign countries. We need to stop starting new fucking wars. We need to stop, militarizing our fucking, going after our citizens with fucking military.
This conversation is going way deeper than just internet drama. It's a masterclass in exposing global hypocrisy. While the Tate brothers are busy flip-flopping and escaping to special interests just to secure a visa or avoid a lawsuit, look at who is actually tackling the dangerous truths. Sneako and Dan Bilzerian are calling the real matrix the one that uses your tax dollars to fund foreign wars while leaving the citizens to rot. Dan Bilzerian brings up a chilling point about that ICE agent shooting a woman, questioning why we are trained to blindly support the side instead of calling out government tyranny when it stares us in the face. Even Sneako points out the irony of Venezuelan president being framed as the ultimate villain by the same media that lied to US, that lies to us about everything else. It's about the narrative versus reality. Notice the consistency here. Sneako hasn't changed his stance even when pressure became life-threatening. Meanwhile, the people who sold you the escape the matrix course are now following the matrix rules perfectly. They called everyone else sheep, but at the first sign of a legal threat, they started acting like the most obedient sheep in the herd. Ask yourself, who is actually resisting the system? The guy doing PR-friendly apologies to stay safe, or the guys standing their ground against government overreach and media lies? Hit that like button if you value raw honesty over a polished PR script. Tell me in the comments, is Tate still a rebel or he has officially sold out to the system?
We need to focus on giving people their rights and not encroaching on them on a fucking daily basis. And we need to control our fucking debt. I think those are things that both sides can agree on. And those to me are the most important pieces, right? Yeah. We're focusing on all this fucking ancillary bullshit that's not really important and glossing over the fact that we agree on the primary issues. And those primary issues are the ones that our government, left and right, are aligned with on the opposite side of what the fuck we want. And that, to me, is the crux of the problem. And that's actually what gives me slight hope, is because if you can bring the right and the left together, then now all of a sudden, you immediately get elected, right? If you have...
I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. Same thing like this guy, Hassan Piker, this leftist streamer on Twitch. He will say free Palestine and know that Benjamin Netanyahu says, this is quote, Netanyahu said, saying free Palestine is the new Heil Hitler. But at the same time, that guy Hassan Piker will call me a Nazi for listening to his song. Even though Netanyahu puts us in the same box, they're still caught up. And in the right, they'll call me a communist for saying a nice thing about Mamdani. Even, there's some, I don't agree with everything, but it's like saying commie, all this is control. On the podcast, that guy, Adam said that Tristan told him, I was the one who played the song in the club. It just seemed like they were like ratting on me to the police. That's what the energy was.
Yeah, super fucking gay, bro. Super gay. Because I've talked to them about this fucking shit, and they fucking get it. So I don't like the fucking two-sided shit, man. Stand on your fucking beliefs, bro.
Agreed.
Just because you're talking to some fucking Jew doesn't mean you need to double back and fucking pander to their fucking bullshit.
What we just witnessed was an absolute demolition of a manufactured idol. Dan Bilzerian and Sneako didn't just talk, they disconquered the entire Top G brand piece by piece. The lesson here is brutal. It is easy to preach masculinity and escaping the matrix from a gold-plated mansion, but true character is forged under pressure. And the moment the pressure got real, we saw Andrew Tate fold like a deck of cards. Look the contrast. While Tate was busy appearing on PBD Podcast, playing it safe and sanitizing his image to stay out of a prison cell, Sneako and Dan Bilzerian were naming the names nobody else desired to mention. Sneako exposed transgender destruction, explaining how the system uses these manufactured social wars to keep us fighting each other while billions of dollars in taxes are shifted off to fund genocide and foreign interest in Israel. Dan Bilzerian was 100% on board, calling out the insanity of government that prioritize Zionist agenda over its own suffering citizen. While Tate is pandering to stay relevant, Sneako is actually identifying the Mamdani, the modern day system of mental slavery. Dan Bilzerian's message was loud and clear. Stand on your belief. If you fold, the second legal system squeeze you. If you throw your brother under the bus like they do with Sneako, and if you stay silent about literal genocide just to protect your bank account, then every word you ever preached about being a leader was a lie. Sneako and Dan Bilzerian just proved that raw integrity and the courage to speak the truth about the industrial war complex is worth more than thousands of Bugatti Veyrons. Now the floor is yours. After seeing the evidence, has the matrix breaker himself, Andrew Tate, become a puppet of the very matrix he claimed to fight? Is Andrew Tate is a master of strategist, or has he been exposed as a fraud who chose fame and safety over his own brothers like Sneako and his own souls? Let me know your point of view in the comments. I would really like to know your thoughts, and please, if possible, like and subscribe to the channel. It will going to encourage and help me to make more videos like this. And again, thanks for watching.